Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsieur. I'm called to return, to come back and speak about this law of one. For the law of one is all. It is the highest wisdom. It is the all in all, to understand the unity of all things. All the great teachers of old, all the ascended master, the archangels, all the spirits that are in the light of the truth will teach you about this law of one. You are the creator. You are the one. You can never be separated from your true self, from your whole self, from your no. It is just a temporal experience that we are going through here, that make us believe that we are separated from the whole. So in a sense, what is going on is that there is an essential truth to understand, is that within our DNA, within the DNA of all beings and all things, there is this the source code, and the source code is what fuels the evolution from the smallest microbes to the greatest beings in the universe. We have this source code, the source code that forces the evolution. Every microcellular creature needs to make choices. We have millions of different microbes within our physical body, and humanity, even the world of science and physics, only know maybe a few percentage of that. So we don't even know ourselves. So it's about knowing who we are. We are great creatures. We are wonderful beings. We are the wholeness of God. We're not just a part of God. We are the wholeness of God. God has created in His own image, and so hers. God is beyond gender, beyond form, for there is no way, no explanation that will ever reveal God. For God is the truth. It is utterly beyond any reasoning or explanation. But we are that. We are that creator. And so this universe was created to manifest infinite diversity. Infinite diversity. Even on the earth, we do not know the universe, but even on the earth, we can see the diversity of the climates, the diversity of the animal kingdom, the diversity of human thinking, the diversity of religion. This one God has created many aspects of truth so that humans can find different spiritual ways for enrichment of the consciousness, of the universal consciousness. Of course, in the past, humans have created gods that were on their own image. They were a god about violence and fear. Now we have to return to the God of love, to the unity of spirit, to the brotherhood. And so for Jesus came to align that, and so he will return to assist in that process. Our true self, who we truly are, has remained into the higher planes. We've never left the company of heaven. And so this is why we send a part of our consciousness, and so we accepted to leave all of this wonderful understanding and wisdom and knowledge and truth and knowledge of who we are, in order to experience this experience of separation. But now we are reconnecting. For there is this idea of creationism or evolutionarism, Darwin against for God has created all, but He has also created all through. So it's both true and both false, because in essence God has created all in one thought, in eternal thoughts, but and all in 7 days, 6 days. But the cosmic days, trillions of years. So it's like it took trillions of years of evolution to get there, from the nebula to the star systems to the planets, to the evolution of the planet, to the biological implantation, from the microcellular creatures that can become creatures that are able to reconnect to the grand design. It takes billions of years. And in the seventh day, God has rested as an important observer, omniscient observer. For all the legend, the mythological or biblical or Quranic are just, they're not the truth, but they're based on truth. For they were explanations that were given on the level that men could understand. So they are metaphor to understand. It's all based on some reality that happens, but it is not the truth. So it's like men get confused by the revelation, because it's like it was given on a certain level of consciousness, because that's all that men could understand at any given time. Understanding this state of fifth dimension is a paradisical state of being that we can return to, and that's where our true self already resides. Originally, when we first came down into these physical planes, we could draw a life force just from air and water. We needed nothing else. We could create with our thoughts everything that we needed, and then eventually we descended in frequency, and then we had to learn to survive in all kinds of other ways. So it's created many difficulties. In the society that we live in, we've been so distorted that the lie has become the truth, and so we have to return to this connection, to this understanding. For it is all based on the stronger that can dominate the weak, and the sexuality can be practiced without love. All of those things are distortion of the divine concept of consciousness. For we are all we should, when the strong dominates the weak, there is no. There is no love. It's just a domination. It's just power, and there are people that continue to exist. That I'm going to return to that. I'm going to pull a card for the day. It's the Ace of Gabriel. Passion, opportunity, inspiration. The opportunity to do something marvelous is coming to you. Be in ecstasy. Be in wonder. For life, it should be wondrous. She's like, we want to be, we want to find this wonder each and every, when we open our consciousness to those higher planes, we are opening our mind to wonderful things. So right now we're working in this creating bridges to creating bridge to those higher dimensions, but eventually the whole humanity will be able to follow that path, so they won't be as difficult. That's also the path of the religions, like some certain being that created this bridge into the higher planes, and so the follower can follow and find that way. It's like in the jungle, we are creating this, but we are creating new. We have to accept to follow the inner guidance of our spirit and let God lead the way. The body is the creation of the soul. It is not the creation of the ego. For otherwise we knew ourselves, we would be eternal, we would be immortal, we would never get sick, we would be able to fly in the air, we would have control over all material physical reality. So as our soul comes down, we reconnect to all kinds of new old understandings that we had, that we were awakening memories and powers within our DNA. For this physical body is also part of the soul of the planet. And we want to connect to that. We want to anchor. It's very important to pay attention to our inner child. The inner child lives in the belly. When he's mistreated or his lack of love, it's like he's disconnected and he feels sad, or he feels threatened, or he feels so it rebels, and we feel like tension in our belly. So it's about finding a way to make this inner child feel secure, feel love. And as we do that, it is the ground point for our adult consciousness to live in peace. Because when our inner child, we feel that in our belly, we feel that we do not know, but we're not taking care of our inner child. The inner child wants to play, wants to have fun, he wants to feel. The emotions of children are very sincere, very spontaneous. They feel happy or they feel sad, and their parents said, "Don't feel sad," and so the little child has self-judgment. It's not okay to feel sad. When you feel sad, it's okay to feel sad. Just use the sadness and bring yourself back to alignment, to balance, but do not judge yourself for feeling sad. So it's about managing this. Our relationship to our inner child is very important. Soon or even now, we're moving. We're changing habits. We're changing hobbies. We're changing entertainment. Which a lot of people that used to have meaning in our life no longer really hold that much passion. So we want to move into this new sphere where there is a lot of passion to be experimented, and for that we have to accept the fact that certain things will leave and will be replaced by other things. This universe was created as a spiral. The Milky Way is the center of the 7 super universe, and there were 7 great spirals of creation, in essence, as time and space goes. For there are greater universes beyond that we will experience once we master time and space. But so we want to live at the center of the spiral and understand that our 7 super universe we live in the 7 super universe. So 7 is a very powerful number for us. It's the 7 super universe is the perfect alignment and a perfect blending of the ministry of the 3 original deities. So it's the least developed, but the most difficult. It is it what represents the accumulation of all forms of ministry. And in the spiral of creation, we are at the end of the spiral. So we do not have the full light spectrum that the original universe had at the beginning. And then but the more difficult it is, the more rewarding it is as well. For there is a great deal of wisdom within the whole sorts of creation. Everything was created from immense wisdom of God, and so we have to accept that and to work with all the conditions of our life. And there will be few more universes in this super universe that will be created that may even be even more difficult in the future. But this is part of we live in a dark matter universe. It's a dark matter universe where matter and antimatter emerge from 0 point and create this 12-dimensional matrix where we actually are able to ascend from level to level. And the pendulum of duality that swings. And we want to stop the pendulum of duality in order to align into the central pillar of light. In a sense, I wanted to notice that all the catastrophes that may happen in the physical world, I'm not even talking about the war that should be ended, that should be ending soon, but all the physical catastrophes like earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes, all of those things are the result of the liberation of energy. For the earth, there is a lack of love on the planet. For once you hold enough love on the planet, those things will no longer happen. Once a planet moves into the state of light and life, there is nothing that can perturb the life of its inhabitant. When a system moves into a solar system, move into the sphere of light, no asteroid can come to disrupt the life of all the planets that live in this solar system. And even so you know that you're protecting even the place when you tune into this frequency of love and light, you are protected and you're protecting the area. It was explained that in California, for instance, is a very fragile. I lived 7 years in LA. I experienced a few earthquakes, but there could be a great big earthquake that could come there. But there is enough people that hold enough love and light in this area to protect that, to secure the ground of Los Angeles. San Andreas Fault. But if the let us say that the most creative, if a million people would leave Los Angeles and all the most creative people would be removed from LA, the place would no longer be protected. It could be really dangerous, but those people are here, they're solidifying. So it's about cultivating this light and love and knowing that we are safe and protected, and if there is a danger for us in relationship to the physical situation, we usually get warning signs, and so we follow that warning signs, and we can for even in Thailand before the tsunami, the elephants and all the animals break their chain and went up to the mountains because they were attuned to the signs. Just the people are so disconnected, they didn't see it coming. So the earth sometimes also it is part of the drama, the catastrophes, what we call natural catastrophes, are part of the process. It's what God said that we need to evolve and grow. I experienced it was in 1992, Hurricane Andrew. I was living in South Beach, Florida, Miami Beach, and we had this huge hurricane that destroyed all the trees and the old trees and so on. And but in the Coconut Grove, there were some people that were living, multi-millionaires that live in abandoned villas, and there were some very poor people that were living in certain areas, very, very close, but they never really talked to each other. But then at this point, there was no electricity, and everybody had to meet and work together to make it work. So it fulfilled the function. Sometimes it catalyzed those. It's unfortunate that we need sometimes to have those drama to pay attention to the community and to develop this solidarity, this love. Eventually we won't need, as we move into the higher frequency, we no longer need drama to catalyze the love that we need to express and experience. So I wanted to speak about opening the third eye. The third eye is very important. It is the center of our brain. It is the form of the eye of Horus. It is once we open it, we can see more and more, and it is the pineal gland. So because we're reactivating the 12th chakra with the Earth Star and the 7 major chakra, then there is the thymus that is opening. It's a sacred heart. There is the well of dream, the cerebellum behind the neck here. That's like the foresight that allows us to move through time. And there is another gland in the brain that brings in the positive, negative. That's right behind the pineal gland. pituitary, I forgot the name of it, but it is just a little gland that's like activating this activation. The brain is something very sophisticated. Once we use it in its fullest potential, we'll discover magic understanding and magic power to affect the world. I was talking about this base 7. The 1 remains the key number to focus on, to understand the unity of life. But this base 7 is very important. It's a very spiritual. There is three forms of mathematical base. The base 7 is the most spiritual. The reminder of that 7 base, of that spiritual origin, is that we have 7 orifices within our head. We have 7 major chakras. There is 7 colors, 7 sound. So there is this reminder. Essentially, we work on a base 10. The base 10 is the metric system, and this is a universal consciousness that we there is 100 constellation in our local universe, 10 major sector in the super universe. So there's this base 10, and then there is the base 12, like the English system of inches and pounds and so on. And here so the base 12 is very important also because it's a cosmic base, and it gives the importance of 144. This number is very sacred, very powerful, as there is 12 constellations. We live in the submatrix of 12 dimensions. We have 12 chakras on the upper planes. There is 12 rays of divine light. There is 12 months, 12 hours on the clock. Or in a sense, there is 13 constellations with Ophiuchus, which is the 13th dimension, is the bridge to higher plane. And it's the same thing with, eventually we have 12 months, but there is 13 moons, so we may once we achieve ascension, we might work on a moon system rather than this month system. And so we have to learn all those systems, understand, for those who are interested in science, there will be great understanding that are relative to this different spiritual science, that are relative to this base 12. In essence, it is very hard to reach love in a matrix that is dominated by fear. That's why it's very courageous to have come down here on this planet to experience life, because it's a fear-based society. But in a love-based society, it's very difficult to attain fear. Fear is like a completely foreign concept, and this is where we're moving in the future. Our memory will be rearranged. We will never again find the ability to return to fearful experience. We have to dissolve the fear into love, and so we can play, we can enjoy. For it's good to be serving the world, but it's good to be enjoying yourself. If you do not enjoy yourself, there is something that we are missing, we are lacking. For we are going through this process of cleansing, of eliminating all those shadow aspects. So that we have to accept to go through that. But then as soon as this cycle is over, we'll move into a total state of ecstasy, of joy, of pure celebration, of being able to follow whatever our heart calls for. For now, we're just waiting for the manifestation. Spirit says the manifestation will come in due time, because they work on soul time. I'm really happy to see that I've been heard. There is this awareness about this. For there is nothing we can do about the climate change. But there is something we can do about stopping the environmental destruction, the deforestation that are affecting millions of different species on the planet. And so there is this awareness that there will be political action that will be taken to try to slow down that process and eventually repair it. I'm quite aware that the part of me that is God, the part of me that is soul, is far more conscious than I am. But yet, and so they give me little insight into things that is coming. And so sometimes I want to say, well, yeah, it's nice. I want it to be there. But in a sense, it's like it's reintegrating piece after piece, and so yeah, we have to accept whatever we are given, and accept the fact that we are not given the whole picture. So we have to trust that everything will come into alignment. We are just a work in process. Yet we are not just a part of God. We are the wholeness of God. I pulled 4 cards with the tarot of the angels. The highest wisdom for us today is knowledge. For knowledge comes from knowledge. And wisdom comes from knowledge. Knowledge doesn't come from ignorance. Knowledge comes from knowledge. So if you do not have knowledge, you have to find it where it's there. Then it's like in the great books of philosophy, the great books of wisdom, and great teachers. And eventually you will find the highest knowledge as coming from our inner self, our inner guide, our God self, and our guides. What we need to understand is acceptation. We have to allow to accept ourselves, to accept the condition of our life in order to transform them. What we need to do is communication. Still need more communication. There will be more communication. We need to communicate. So I come here every day. It's like Spirit is asking me to communicate as much as possible on those subjects, although they're very futuristic. They're not what is being taught. They're not the mainstream, let's say. If I go into mainstream media, I won't be able to express as openly those things. I will have to calibrate my frequency to address a message that will be more consensual in relationship to the consciousness of those of the mass population. For here, all those who listen to my video are advanced spiritualists. They're like you're already an ascended master. You're already there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be interested in those messages. Or you are in the making. We are all in the making in this process, and the outcome is a renewal. Everything will be regenerated, renewal, made new. Everything is made new every day, every moment. We have this ability, this power. Just one more note. For we have accepted that we are student of the light, but we are student of the light. We have to turn to find teachers that teach us, and when we're ready for something, the teacher comes, whether it is invisible presence or physical presence. Eventually, we become teachers of the light, and eventually we have to assume the responsibility, become master of the light. That means assuming all the responsibility, assuming our whole creation, to eventually become the Lord of light, where we ascend into the higher planes and we become sovereign. A comment that is a little bit on the earth plane level is that we can no longer live in the same ways we've lived over the past few centuries in this industrial and post-industrial society. It no longer works. So when it's a small minority of beings have it all, and the great majority of beings have nothing, it just doesn't work anymore. People are seeing that. They don't know how to solve it, so they rebel in whatever form they can. But soon there will be free technology that are already here, present on the planet, that will be released, that will solve all that. And it is the end of the era of the multinationals. For the great company, most of them will disappear because they are morally and financially bankrupt. Not financially, but morally bankrupt, and they're not serving the people. They are serving private interest, and they're serving money. That's all they're serving. And smaller, they will be replaced by smaller companies that will be ethical, that will be able to provide the same goods and services in cheaper and more. And in a way that's less invasive. But the problem right now is that whenever a small company provides those services, it's been eaten up, it's been cannibalized by a big company, because they won't keep those monopoles, which allows them to, since they are the only one that provide this service, they are able to impose anything, and people cannot even complain, otherwise they lose the ability to serve. So it's about all those monopoles are not really healthy, and so there will be a great change. I'm getting ready to start a company that will be providing goods and services, but they will be ethical. I always stick to my own principle. For ethics and morality are essentially the same. But ethics is like how to apply this morality, how to do unto others how we want to be, how we want to be done unto us. So to understand that everybody will just mirror of each other. I'm going to finish with a song. The paintings behind me, the painting is a drawing, but this is a painting on cosmology. It's a rather nice size, and I'm looking forward to do larger size, and to approach it in a very different every time. I'm doing new ways, and but those paintings may not be the easier or the most what people will like the most about my work, but they're probably the most important for the future generation, because it represents a cosmological model that will need to be integrated. The more we move towards spirituality, the more those things will become important. It represents paradise, the 21 satellites of paradise, the 1 billion perfect world of the central universe, and the 7 super universe of time and space with the transcendental universe, and above there is the 7 great families of spirit beings. So this painting is like there is still maybe some touch up. I'm not really sure. It's very close to completion in any event. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. And we're finished with a song that speaks about the law of one. All we need is love, and we are the world. So it is it's a song. I was living in LA when it came out. It's a song by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, and I was living in Los Angeles when this song came out, and everybody was overwhelmed. It was done for the cause of Africa, to eliminate famine in Africa. It was good intention, and I hope that now that this kind of everything that will move into a world that very soon the political world will be enough to stop the wars and the environmental destruction, so we can take care of all the people, everybody can live in peace in this beautiful world. So this was the intention of all those who wrote this song and those who sing it as well, to participate in this healing of the world. It goes like this. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own life. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. Send them your heart, so they'll know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we must all lend a helping hand. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a better day, just let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own life. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Well, let's realize that change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones that make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own life. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. So let us connect. Thank you very much for sticking till the end. Let us connect to this unified matrix of love and light and relax about it, to know that everything is fine. Everything is perfect just as it is. And as we realize that, we tune into that frequency, so much will unfold just from there. I thank you very much. Namaste.